Montana Today.
Good morning, Montana. I'm Jason Hurst. Thanks for waking up with us. And as you pour your coffee and make breakfast, let's get you informed and ready to take on your Thursday. Coming up, legislators discuss a bill that creates an income tax credit for certain non-public school expenses. How's it work? Who benefits? Plus a Nashville school shooting. How did it happen? Authorities seek answers. And in Flathead County, what officials are doing to prevent the spread of chronic wasting disease. What was discussed at a recent meeting and advice officials offer to the community.
Well, the time is at 6:30 on a Thursday morning. Temperatures are cold. We've got some localized fog. We've had visibility as low as 2 miles out at the Missoula International Airport. There's frost on your car windshield. You're definitely going to need an extra 5 to 10 minutes to get going this morning. When you factor in the wind, look at that, 11 degrees below zero. Kiddos are going to need a jacket down in Butte and Bozeman. Maybe a couple of extra layers with those wind chill values in the teens below. Live look at radar, not much happening for us right now. That is set to change, though, tonight and early Friday as we track our next weather maker. Today, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures near normal for the most part. We'll be in the mid to upper 20s today in the Missoula area. For southwest Montana, a little bit warmer with Bozeman right around 30 degrees this afternoon. But with our next weather maker, we're also tracking a round of some Arctic cold. I'll tell you how cold it's going to get this weekend in 10 minutes.
In Helena, legislators heard a bill that aims to create an income tax credit for certain non-public school expenses. The credit could be over $2,900 for elementary students and over $3,800 for high school students. Proponents included several parents of homeschooled students, and they say the bill prevents parents of non-public schooled students from having to essentially pay for school twice due to local taxes for public schools. While opponents, including homeschool parents and the Montana School Boards Association, say it has issues despite good intentions, and that it would be better off as a deduction instead of a credit.
We ask that you look at this with the eyes of educational freedom and helping support school choice and helping support us in educating our children to the best of our abilities.
We fight tooth and nail to adequately and equitably fund public education, and we're not there yet. And for us to spread that money around and to dilute funding for public education is a real concern for us.
If passed, the tax credit could be utilized for income tax years beginning in 2026. According to the fiscal note, the proposed credit is projected to reduce general fund revenue by nearly $32 million in fiscal year 2027 to nearly $34 million in 2029. In Flathead County, officials met to discuss how to prevent the spread of chronic wasting disease. Chronic wasting disease is slow-moving, fatal, and targets deer, elk, and moose. Flathead County's first case was a whitetail buck located in the landfill last fall. FWP worked with the landfill and local law enforcement to remove 34 deer. 9 of those deer tested positive. To prevent CWD from spreading, FWP increased the whitetail B licenses and received permission to remove as many deer as possible throughout the winter.
We don't know how interconnected a lot of these deer populations are from the landfill, but we know that a lot of our deer migrate. The deer from our surrounding hunting districts in the mountains do migrate to the valley in the wintertime.
Officials are asking community members to reduce fruit tree and shrub attraction by cleaning up the fruit, keeping growth contained, and avoid feeding wildlife. Gunshots rang out Thursday morning in a cafeteria at a high school just south of Nashville. One student was killed and a second injured before Metro Police say the shooter, also a student at Antioch High School, took his own life. Madeline Nolan from our sister station in Nashville was there as a community is rocked again by school violence.
He was a monster, just killing people.
Absolute heartbreak at Antioch High School. Metro Police say that 17-year-old Solomon Henderson arrived with a plan.
This individual arrived at school on a bus and was actively a student in the school, went into the restroom, I guess, to retrieve his weapon, and then went into the cafeteria.
According to police, Henderson fired several shots from a pistol, and those bullets hit 2 students. 16-year-old Joseline Correa Escalante died in the gunfire.
Firing multiple rounds in the cafeteria, striking her, and then before pulling the weapon on himself.
First responders rushing into the school, helping the wounded and the SWAT team, making sure that there were no other shooters. 2 other students were also taken to the hospital.
We did do 4 transports, all of them going to Vanderbilt. Then other assessments were done, of course, with student and staff when it was needed.
The impact going beyond those inside the cafeteria when the gunfire erupted. The violence impacting an entire community.
She's a tough girl, and when I heard her running and I heard the anxiety and the anxiousness in her voice, that is something I can't get out of my head.
Antioch High School will remain closed for the rest of the week. The FBI, TBI, as well as ATF are all assisting Metro Nashville Police in this ongoing investigation. In Nashville, I'm Madeline Nolan.
The Montana Department of Environmental Quality is seeking applications for grant funding to support water quality projects. Officials say the agency expects to award a total of $1 million to prevent or reduce non-point source pollution. Funding is available to nonprofits and government entities for projects that address pollution and implement practices identified in a locally developed watershed restoration plan. Selected organizations will receive between $10,000 and $300,000 per project, and 40% of the project's costs must be matched with non-federal funds. Eligible applicants have until March 7th to apply. The Forest Service is extending the comment period for a proposed access road request near Plains. Take a look at this map. The project would be located here in the Eddy Creek drainage and proposes to issue a special use permit to a landowner to have unlimited motorized access to their property using a forest road. The landowner would improve and maintain the road along with picking up the tab for road maintenance activities. Officials extended the comment period to January 30th after receiving a great deal of interest. And we now visit with Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster, who is standing by. And Brooke, 6:37 means one thing: bus stop forecast. Do the kids need to bundle up this morning?
Right, definitely bundling up a lot more than we did yesterday. We are starting out this morning with temperatures in the single digits. There is some fog and frost out there, so even that vehicle, you're going to have to allow the defrost to do its work, because it is definitely a different start to the day than what we had yesterday. Live look outside Kalispell and Missoula. Definitely cold, single digits. Wind is calm though, so we're not dealing with a wind chill factor. It is what it is, and at 7 a.m. we're going to be at 9. We'll be at 18 by lunchtime in Kalispell, 23 in that 3 o'clock hour. For Missoula, bus stop forecast likely keeping temperatures in the teens as we head into that 11 o'clock hour, but we'll be in the 20s once we get into the afternoon. This time tomorrow morning is going to feature a little bit of snowfall. I'll tell you how much snow will accumulate coming up in about 10 minutes.
Coming up, President Trump defends his reasons for pardoning those convicted for the violent acts that happened on January 6, 2021. We'll hear from the president. Plus, what's the future of passenger trains in the United States and why Montana could play a part? Here is a live look from our Hailgate Plumbing weather camera above TV Mountain at Snowbowl, looking down into the Missoula Valley. Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster has your day planner coming up right after the break.